Hey guys, and welcome to another mob farm tutorial. This is going to be a mob farm for the giant miners, which are absolutely terrifying, but drop something extremely useful, the giant miners pickaxe, which is basically the best mining tool in the game. Um, Usually you will find spawners inside structures like this one here. So if I break these down, right in the middle, you're going to find this. It looks like an iron golem spinning around, but it spawns the giant miners. If I put this back onto hard, you'll probably be able to see it. Yeah, there you go. These guys here. Now we want to farm them, and we want to get their pickaxes. This is a really weird location. I just wanted to find one that hadn't been despoiled. So I could show you what structure you're looking out for. If you find one of these, approach with extreme caution. If you're playing on hard, and you don't have decent armor, these guys can basically one-shot you, and they can hit you from 3 or 4 blocks. I think 4 blocks is safe distance, but we'll take a break here. I'm going to go over to one I've cleared out, and we're gonna build the mob trap together. Okay, guys, so this is the rough layout. It's not quite completed yet. We're going to complete it on camera. I just wanted to get everything laid out so I can tell you the exact dimensions and everything you need. First thing to note is that there is no way to stop these miners from spawning. Obviously, this is broad daylight. We're in the middle of the day, and they're still trying to spawn. The only reason they're not is because we're on peaceful, and I've done that just so we don't have miners in our face while I'm trying to show you the dimensions. You can actually see clearly what I'm doing. But what you're going to need to do is enclose, same with any other spawner, a 9x9 space centered on the spawner. So 4 blocks in every dimension. 4 that way. 4 that way. That way. And this way. Probably important to note as well, I mean, this works just like a normal spawner. So you might be asking, well, why don't I dig down and get maximum efficiency, maximum number of spawn spaces? And the reason... well, there's a couple of reasons. The first one is that good luck doing it. These things can one-shot you if you don't have good enough equipment, so I definitely recommend doing this with at least copper armor. I would recommend bronze in my SMP series with Grim. I was doing it with leather armor with a bronze chest piece from a dungeon, and that let me soak up a few hits. But if you go into this naked, especially on hard difficulty, you're going to get one-shotted. So come in prepared. So yeah, if you're trying to dig this out and make it maximum efficiency, you're going to have to be tanking their damage, and it's just not realistic. You might not even have it nice and flat like this, but they cannot get over a fence. They can step up 1 block like this, but they cannot do 2 blocks, even though they're super tall. And they also can't get around a fence. If you can get a ring of fences around that perimeter there, around that 9x9 space, you should be safe. If you have weird kind of unevenness in the terrain, like this here, I'm pretty sure they can actually step over this. I've seen them clear a 3x3 gap and step onto the other side. So if you've got, you know, raised bits inside this spawn area, I would recommend making this taller. And the way you're going to have to do this, it is not going to be easy, just a run in and put your fences down kind of job. You're probably going to have to do it a few posts at a time. So run in. Try and get a couple of fence posts down before they start spawning, and then run away, let them despawn, and then come back and do a few more. So this is going to take you the longest part of the entire build. So be prepared for that. Make sure you've got enough fences. Make sure you've got enough time to kind of chill out, regen health in between if you need to. Once you've done that, though, you can start building the rest of it. This, like I say, the rest of this is much quicker. You just need to dig out a few blocks. And there's going to be a couple of parts to this, but I recommend the first thing you do is build your elevator down to your killing and collection area. So that needs to be, you've got your fence down 15 blocks away. I've laid this out so you can see it. And then in the middle, centered on where the spawner is, dig down 15 blocks to the bottom here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blocks. Stop here. Just dig this 2-high tunnel out so you can walk down it, 6 blocks long, and just stop here. And then come back, climb back up whilst putting your ladders in, obviously, so you can escape. Let's just make it day so we don't get darkness while we're trying to record. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 block space between the hole where you dug your ladder. You start digging this 4 block long and 3 block wide pit. Now you can check, and it's 5 blocks away from this fence, so that's how you'll know that you've got your dimensions right. Be very, very careful. The reason I've done it this far, you could put it closer, but if you're working around here, the miners can actually still hit you. Don't forget as well, they can be infernal, and there's going to be times where they have, like, well, crazy, like, choking abilities and stuff. Again, if it's getting too much, just run away, come back again. You don't want to die while you're building it. But this pit is 15 blocks deep, just like the ladder pit was. 1, 2, 3, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 blocks fall. I've been experimenting. That should be the perfect drop, so they take the most amount of damage possible from gravity without actually being killed. And that's important because you have to kill them yourself, otherwise they won't drop the pickaxes or anything else for that matter. So they should be dropping down into this pit and just be a few bow shots away from getting killed. And you should have 1, 2, 3, 4, plus a little bit of change space so you can actually hit them without them hitting you. Because they will be able to hit you even though they can't see you, so you'd want to make sure you don't get any closer than this. Okay, the next thing is you take your Spectre Glass. You obviously only need, 12 pieces of this. I've just got a stack because we're in creative mode. You make this using the ectoplasm you'll get every so often when you kill mobs, just with glass around it. And it's a pretty useful item, actually. I'm glad I got a chance to use this in a build. You just cover up the hole like this. You can stand on it, but if a mob comes along, it'll actually fall straight through the glass. Now, I have tried doing this with trapdoors, and they seem to be able to walk along the edges of the trapdoors, plus you can't get trapdoors in the middle here, so they end up, they don't like it as much. Whereas this, they treat like a solid block. They think they can walk over it, but they can't. And again, very important that you make this 4 long, because I was finding that if it was just this 3 block length, sometimes they were actually stepping over it and killing me. Once you've done that, it's just a case of trying to funnel them into the mob trap. So, nice 2 high wall on either sides. Again, they won't be able to walk over that. Build that first. And I like to build it 1 more further. And probably worth doing this in the beginning. Just put down a fence gate like this, and then a lever on the outside. Now, when you pull that, it switches this open or closed. And that's your mechanism for turning the spawner on and off. And then just build this up diagonally. And again, when you're getting this close to the fence post, be very careful of the mobs that are in there. I mean, they shouldn't be able to get out through that, so you should be safe to place the block as long as you're not close enough for them to hit you. Let's clear those out. Like so. And now's the risky part. So they can't get over this wall, they can't get over this fence, but you need to let them out of this spawn area. And again, this might be run away, let them despawn, run back in, and do it very quickly kind of job. All you need, I suppose that technically would be wide enough possibly, but at least get that much out, I would say. And as long as you can get past this fence gate, you're safe, as long as you're far enough away, because they can't get through this gap unless you've got this thing open, and they can run straight through. So leave that closed for the time being, just for safety. And then what I like to do, just to stop me from accidentally getting too close to the mobs that are in there, give yourself a little safety fence post area. I suppose you could use solid blocks for this, it really doesn't matter as long as you're out of the danger zone, which is this area in the middle here. And you're basically done now. That is it. And let me just get my hunger and thirst back up and I'll show you this thing in action. Okay, there we go. We've got some miners spawned. It can take a minute sometimes. Like I say, it's not about having ridiculous spawn rates in those things. Oh, this is an issue that sometimes happens where they're so huge. I didn't leave a very big gap in that fence. They can only get through one at a time. And if they're all trying to fight their way through, sometimes they get a little bit jammed up. Just give them a go back and forth. It helps them wiggle the way through. Over here. Oh, that guy's gone through and fallen down already. Maybe we can get this guy in as well. Come on over, guys. There we go. There's another one. Down, and that guy's dancing around, but that's fine. If we can very carefully hit that. Is he stuck? Yeah, he's stuck behind that one. And then if we go down into this hole with our bow, I like this long bow. It does a lot more damage than the normal bow does. Line up your shot. One dead. Couple of shots this one's going to take. There you go. 2 dead. We've got 2 pickaxes already, and because that fence post is closed, we don't have to worry about any more dropping down on our heads while we're collecting our loot. Again, I don't recommend doing this in melee. I do recommend getting a little bit of a bow here and taking them on that way. But otherwise, that's it. And let me just show you while we're down here what this pickaxe does and why it's so good. So if I break this block here, boom. So you can imagine why that would be useful when you're out mining. Anyway, I hope that was useful, guys. Thank you very much for watching. If there's any other types of spawner tutorial you'd like to see, just let me know, because I'm quite enjoying this, actually, coming up with ways of making, like farming the different mobs that you can get in this pack. But otherwise, thanks very much, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.